Well, it's great to see you again, Mark. It seems ages since we've done one of our interviews, and in fact, the last time we really were talking properly was it was a Friday just before Ayr were meant to be going down to the game against Queen of the South on TV, and then came lockdown and furlough. Now, how was that lockdown and furlough period for you?
Obviously it's been dragged out now, obviously for the reasons that it had to be. I think early on it was thought that we might just get back, it might just be a couple of week thing, but we soon realised that was going to change pretty rapidly, and we were going to be in lockdown for quite some time. So that, and then try to get things in place for furloughing players, and then you lose contact with the players because you can't be your normal day-to-day interaction. So you've got to be careful when boys were on that. Although there was communication just on a personal level to make sure boys were okay, not putting any demands on them as a workload or anything like that. It was just making sure everybody was handling things mentally, because it's pretty tough for any kind of person day-to-day life. So for footballers it was a massive change. So we managed to just kind of keep ticking over like that. But coming out of it, it's been quite positive, and as soon as things like that happen, you quickly forget the position you were in. We're just now charging on with trying to build a squad and getting things moving forward.
Now, how did the club itself treat players and yourself during that period of time? I think Stephen Bell was on a couple of interviews talking about how great it had been for him. How was it for you and the other players that you've heard from?
For me as a manager, I think support's kind of massive. For me to then to filter down to players, if I'm getting kind of bad news to give players all the time, and having to cut things and do certain things when I came back. But obviously I was in furlough as well, so it was pretty clear early on that the club were going to support the players, keep them on furlough. Even the players that were running out of contract, they extended that and gave players and their families a wee bit of security, and they used the scheme well without kind of taking it too far. We've done the right thing, I think. A lot of clubs decided to just clear the decks, but for us I think we've managed to keep a group together, and now we'll re-sign a few of these players, and I know for a fact that these players are grateful for what the club have done, and in return the boys have been quick to respond to contracts that they've been offered.
Now, you've talked to me before about the feeling of the support from fans and the community that was created around Ayr United. Have you been aware of the efforts of the fans to raise money for the club during these challenging times? For example, the raffle by Dave Smith to win Andy Walker's boots that raised over £2,000, I think. Colin Sturgeon raffling a signed strip. Alistair Malcolm and the Ayr United face coverings, I think that's coming in about £2,500 as well. And as always, the Ayr United Fund doing their bit. And there's many more I've missed out, people who have been doing stuff to raise money. What do these actions mean to the club and to you personally?
Well, for me, I think it's my first couple of weeks in here. I spoke to the AU 500 kind of. The club had spoke about we'll support you, and in January we get to there'll be money for the club. So I knew right away that these people are wanting to help around the club, and I got to know a few of them a bit more as my kind of weeks went on as a manager. So in furlough I know a lot of clubs have been raising a lot of money, and we've been no different. I've noticed on the Twitter pages and speaking to Graham and David, they've made me aware of the kind of support that's been out there from the fans.
I noticed that you talked about Graham there, Graham Miller, but David, our new vice president, or vice chairman I should say there, how's that relationship developing?
It's great. Lachlan's been a great support, obviously giving me the job, and he's continues to do that. David's now on board, and I think he's hands-on here, and Lachlan and him have got a great relationship, so that filters down, and it's great to work with the team. Tracy's been a massive part of the last 3-4 months. So it is a good team, and it feels like a team effort. I think with Dave there, now he's making things happen around the club, and fans will see that. I think when we come back, there's plans to do a bit more around the stadium.
I think that's the thing that fans don't realise about. There are big plans in place to improve the stadium, the facilities in and around Somerset Park, and we're actually in here because we can't get into the boardroom. What's that all about?
Well, it's been renovated. Obviously, it's been ripped out, and there's been a bit of structural change inside, and it's going to give us more room for the players to be able to have a sitting area and obviously an analysis area now. And then the boardroom's probably double the size, and it's kitted out. It's not done yet, but I had a wee look there this morning, and it's looking pretty good. And I'm looking forward to, obviously, I think they say that maybe 2-3 weeks it'll be done. So I think it'll be fantastic for the players, and also people coming in to the club and see that things are happening. There's progress around the stadium.
I know the day we were in doing an interview with all members of staff, they were talking about the area around about the medical area, the fitness area. That's being improved as well, I believe.
I think it will. I think every part that can possibly be upgraded will be done within means. Obviously, there's not going to just spend, but there's definitely going to be a big change around the place. And I think when players come back, they'll get a lift from that. New players coming in, I'll realise that the club are going in the right direction. And it's just positive. Everything about it's positive. Obviously, plans are in place to kind of do stuff outside the stadium as well, that will bring fans together and be able to enjoy the experience. I think coming to the games, and hopefully we'll be adding players, and it is a rebuild this year, but hopefully everyone will come together and we'll have a good team out in the park as well to enjoy.
Now, with the furlough, it's a tough thing for a manager as well, because the team was doing well, everything, you had your players as you were wanting them, and suddenly furlough comes up. How do you deal with that for the players? Because you're not allowed to contact them about their job or anything, and you're not doing it anyway because you're on furlough. How do you prepare them for going away on furlough? What do you say to them, and what do you expect from them?
I think first of all we had a small window opportunity before we went on furlough, when we kind of had a bit of support for the board to say, well, you'll be going on furlough, we'll top up the wages, we'll do bits and bobs to really give the boys peace of mind going into it. So I was having Zoom calls then before we were on the furlough. So that was the first part. So once you've done that, you've supported the boys, so we got a wee chance to say, this might be short term, it might be long term. Here's certain programmes, here's the runs you would do, these are the intensity you would probably run it. Take that away, and if you need any support once we're on furlough, because the contact will be minimal, then we're always here on a personal level. So we couldn't really give any demands, but we could still give support, because that's just something I've got a relationship with my players out work. So we managed that, but as I said, it was minimal. We weren't given any more programmes as things progressed. It was just down to the boys being professional, and I do expect that from the boys, whether they were going to be here or at another club. I did say, just try and keep yourself in the best shape possible, because we don't know how we're going to come out the other end of this, and squads might be smaller, and if you keep yourself in the best shape, you're going to have the best chance of going in and getting a deal elsewhere. So I was kind of looking down the line at a personal level for boys, and saying, clubs might come out of this with not as much money, so they might cut their squads, etc, etc. And that's how we dealt with it, Cal. It was more on a personal level, and the club made sure that they wanted to do that as well, and make sure the boys knew going forward where they would be supported, and what kind of was expected of them, and what was expected of the club to support the boys on through this period.
Now, it's not just about fitness per se, it's not just about keeping you ready for playing a match. After a gap like this, likelihood of injuries early on if you haven't been keeping yourself in the right condition, did you think about these things before they went to help them protect themselves from possible injury coming back to training?
Yeah, no, I think, as I said before, it was unknown. Nobody knew how to deal with this, and nobody knew how to plan, because there was no dates, there was no timescales. So basically we had planned just to give the boys support, done the first bit. Since we've stopped, Michael's been doing a lot of research on injuries in the German League, English League, doing a lot of stuff with people at the uni and stuff. Just for when we do come back, we'll kind of be a slow start. There'll be a lot of injury prevention, and hopefully that'll lead us into being able to run with a squad that starts the season fit, and we don't pick up any kind of niggles or serious injuries in the period from September till October when we start the Betfred.
So no going straight back at it, no full-fledged getting into running with that ball and tackling and everything straight away, just gently worked in?
Aye, I think it's totally different from the last couple of years, and even probably the last 6-7 years of my career. It's been playoffs, off for 3-4 weeks, back in about it, so it was important you got your first couple of weeks of rest, because you knew you were starting pretty quick. I mean, you've been off that short period of time, you can come back in and batter into the long distance runs or the shorter, sharper stuff. So this time it will be totally different. It'll be different for me, it'll be different for every player that we've probably had in a short career or long career, just whatever stage we're at.
Before we started filming, you were just saying, I'm really looking forward to playing in the cup matches before the league starts, because they'll have a different intensity, or was that what it was about, or just that they give you the chance to find your legs?
No, I think you're building a new team, you're building a new squad. I think it gives you the time. It's great to progress in the Betfred. We did, my first season here, we progressed. Last year we didn't progress. I think they lost out in goal difference or something like that. But it still gives you that time to bed in relationships and players and partnerships all over the pitch. So there is a pressure to win games in the Betfred, but it's the new pre-season. That's your new pre-season games. You don't play a lot of games before that now, because it was introduced in a way where it was, instead of meaningless friendlies, they put that on at a period where you could get fans in the door and also work on your fitness and shape your team and all your kind of structure that you wanted to take into the actual campaign.
Well, now let's go into things. That's really the build up to where we are just now, and you're back in work in the team. You're looking at things, and I think the thing that everyone's wanting to talk about is the rebuild, because it is a rebuild this year. You've lost a lot. Well, we're just looking at that. Ross Doon, you've lost Ross. Stephen Kelly, both of them I think going to Ross County. Aaron Drinnan, he's not there anymore. Obviously, fans' favourites like Alan Forrest there and Ross Docherty have gone. And even, I think, Conor Malley, who you had in the second half of the season as well. Now, there's much more going on. That's a simplification. What is the marketplace like just now?
There's loads of players, loads and loads of players out there. I think it's just the time that we're in. I think teams are now starting to look to sign, and we've been off furlough for 3 weeks, but you're working hard, trying to get things done. But the fact of the matter is, everybody wants a club, and then when you make an offer, every player becomes powerful again. So they're all wanting a deal, and they want to do it early. But as soon as offers are on the table, they become powerful, and their agents want to buy some off each team. So we've just been doing our work, making sure that we've got everyone kind of in place, and we've managed to obviously re-sign a few boys and get a couple of new ones on board already, which there'll be a few more. But the players we've lost, that was always going to happen. But 4 of them you've mentioned there are loan signings, so you're never going to be able to keep them for the second year. They either go back to their parent club and play, or progress, and like Doohan has and Stephen Kelly, they'll move to a Premier League team. I think that's the kind of pathway that these clubs give you, the player, but they're still trying to progress in their own career. So that one for me was always going to happen. Aaron Drinnan, I'm hoping we maybe have a chance of getting Aaron back up the road, which would be great, but there's a lot of stuff to be done there to make sure we can maybe get him in. I thought he was excellent when he was here, and the fans took to him and they seen that he gave everything every game. So I'm wanting to do work to replace players that will leave, which was inevitable. I think even with Alan, that was kind of his year that he had planned early on that he was going to try and get to the Premier League. So these things have happened. We've been planning from February, March before the furlough came in. It should be a wee bit more difficult that we've had all these obstacles in the way.
Right, okay, right. You've said the marketplace, you've gone on with that, but you have been doing business, and it is one of the reasons we've held back on this. We've been on the phone a few times in the last couple of weeks, just working out when we could do this interview, and you were saying, I'm going to have some good news coming up that I think would be good to hear about. And today, Super Tuesday, as we've heard it being called, you've got a couple of things that are really good, especially in the re-signing area to start with. You've made some re-signings today.
Yeah, I think we're always going to re-sign some, and everybody will have an opinion on every player that comes into any club and players that are re-signed at any club. So for me, we finished in the top 4 2 years in a row. So why wouldn't we be keeping some boys that we can keep in, and that's what we've done, because it's going to be a shorter season. We need some sort of continuity here. From last year and the previous year, they know what the dressing room's like and they know the standards we need as a team. So re-signing these boys is brilliant going forward.
So have you, today you said, I think it's Michael Moffat, Aaron Muirhead, Andy Murdoch and Stephen Bell you've got back on contract today. These are good things, solid for the club.
That's obviously Andy Murdoch and Aaron are younger, kind of earlier in their careers, so they've signed 2-year deals. So I know some clubs were trying to maybe persuade them not to do that. So it's good to get these boys signed up on a longer contract as well. Again, backing from the board to allow us to do that. And then we've got Stephen and Moff, who are at the kind of latter stages of their career, but great professionals, great lads, and they're right on board. They've committed, they've made a big commitment, because things aren't the same as they were before we left, but they've committed early, and there's things that have changed contractual wise with these boys, and they've really made it known to me that they want to be here. And I think that's the thing with fans, when you see what boys are given to stay at this club, sometimes you don't see the full picture of what's actually went on to get them to stay here. So that's been great, and we've added another couple of players, and we're looking to now, we've got a wee base there. We had 4 signed from last year that we're always going to be here, so that would be us up to maybe 8-10 players now when we add the other 2 new signings.
Yeah, 2 new signings as well, which is the big news for today, that you've gone out into the market, and you were saying it's one that you want to get players out of. There's a lot of players available, and the first one, which I think fans are really going to notice, because we've seen him over a number of seasons as an exciting player, whether coming wide up front or what he did for Partick Thistle last year in one of the games. Really exciting player that you've got there with Dario Zanata. That's an exciting signing.
Yeah, Dario's been a player I've liked for a couple of years now. Obviously he's come over from Canada to Hearts and done really well, played a number of games for Hearts, and he's moved on. He's went out on a couple of loans and signed a permanent deal at Partick, so he decided he didn't want to stay at Partick because we're going to be playing in League One, so he felt that he wanted to stay as high as he could, and I managed to speak to him and we've got a deal done there. I think he is exciting. We're losing Alan, as you say, but Dario can get at people. He's very direct, he's skillful, so he's the type of player that we've had out on the wings the last few years, and I think he really will bring a lot to the team, and I think it's the right time to get him as well. I think he's really positive about his career, and he wants to go and really make a mark this season, and at the top end of the league. I think his last 2 seasons with Alloa and Partick have been at the wrong end of the table, so hopefully we can do that. We're successful again, and we get out of the league. One
thing about him is I was looking at his stats. Not a prolific goal scorer, But when you see the amount of opportunities and goals he's made for other people, that's a vital part to a team.
I think that'll be one of the main things for me, is trying to get Daryl to add goals to his game. I think he does get goals. He's not bad in the air, and he can finish. But I think he goes by 2 and 3 players at a time. He's probably some players we've had here before, but it's the final wee bit, and maybe it's that unselfish kind of streak we need to add to his game. Because there's no doubt he'll get himself in positions. He'll play as part of the team, but he can be an individual. I think that's massive in this league. We've had Shanks. You see that he can go and make a goal out of nothing. I think Daryl's a totally different type for Shanks, but he's a player that can get us goals maybe out of nothing. And this league is always tight, so I think adding players with that quality is really important.
And your other signing for today is a younger player, Patrick Redding. Now, I can be quite honest, I don't know about him, but he's, as far as I can see, left back, left-sided midfielder.
Yeah, it's a kind of mould. We've brought in Michael Rose, Danny Harvey. They kind of boys that we want to develop. I think he played at Middlesbrough. Patrick, I've spoke to the guys there. I've got a good relationship with. I spoke to Scott Gemmell from Scotland under-21. So Patrick was a player that was highlighted to me. I'd watched him a couple of times. As we say, we were planning before COVID came in, so I'd watched them. These people gave really good kind of feedback on the type of player he is. He also he's part of Danny's under-21 squad in Ross Doohan, so they were saying he's a great lad. He can really do a job, and I would sign him in a minute. As a teammate, he's different class, and we rate him as a player. So I've done a lot of homework on him, a lot of boys, and I think he's a young, exciting he's a powerful boy. He'll get up and down the park the same way as all the kind of younger boys have done here. So I'm really excited about Patrick. It's one that maybe fans won't know, but again, it's one that the fans seem to take to really quickly here when they see these kind of young, talented players in the team.
So what sort of positions are you looking at strengthening, now knowing what you've got in just now, what you're looking at to strengthen? I take it you'll be looking for at least one other goalkeeper.
I would be a goalkeeper coming in. I think Ellis has been here. Realistically, he's asked to go out on loan. It's not worked out for Ellis that way, because the way we run with a small squad, so we can't run with 3 and 4 goalkeepers. So Ellis is here. He'll be offered a new contract, but there'll be a number 1 goalkeeper I'll be trying to get in, whether that's on loan or permanent. We'll decide, and whatever way it works out, there's just a couple of options there, so we're on our way to try and secure that position.
Any other positions? Obviously you're thinking striker, man up front. You've talked about Aaron Drennan already, trying to look at him. Have you other irons in the fire? Yeah,
there'll be probably, I would imagine, two more signings in the top half of the pitch, and I would look to obviously secure a player in the central midfield area, whether that's like defensive midfielder or attacking midfielder. We'll probably get, I would say, probably another 4 or 5 signings, whether that's permanents or we use the loan market or whatever. There'll be more players coming in, but we can strengthen all over the pitch. I mean, we've got a right back and a left back right now. We've not got a lot of cover in these positions. We've got 3 centre halves, but again, we're a shorter season, and it's kind of condensed into one half. We might just run with a certain number, and then we get to January, we'll have enough room to add in a certain area. So there's a lot to be done still.
You must be very happy to get Andy Murdoch back, and I believe he's doing really well after his injury. That's like a fresh player. Andy was unbelievable here his first year. I think he took the Player of the Year at most supporters clubs. Again, coming from Walton, it was maybe not the most exciting signing, you would say, but I knew when Murdy was coming in, he had done really well playing against him. Obviously I was only playing at the time at Ayr, so I worked with him, and he's a great boy, great attitude, brings everything every day to training, and you see that on a Saturday. And I've no doubt Andy would have been a massive player last year if he didn't get the unfortunate injury.
but he's been out working, although he's been in furlough. That's a boy I have spoke to quite a lot during this, and he's had the facility there to work with other people, and he's been working really hard, and I'm sure that this is going to be a big season for him, and we've managed to secure him on a 2-year deal. So if it takes him that couple of months to get up to his full speed, then we've supported him, and Andy's ready to get the head down and do his best.
He gives a little bit of extra bite in midfield, doesn't he, when he works? He's happy enough to put the tackling in. Is that some area you will need to cover, though, if you've got a couple of months before you see the full Andy Murdoch back?
I think we need to cover that area anyway. I mean, I was still dipping in and out of the team as a central midfielder last season, which was good at times, but it is difficult. I think obviously we're picking things up as we went on, and I started, I think, my first couple of weeks, I think, with 13 players, 12 or 13 fit players, so it was a real tough start to the job, and it was a period where we've always struggled. I think every year, December, January, there's a kind of backlog of injuries kind of build up, so I think we will definitely add there, we'll add into there. I don't intend to be the number one centre midfielder either. I want to be replaced this year, and hopefully we can do that, and we're doing what to kind of get that sorted. But with Andy in there, he's got that experience now. Yeah, I think he's only 25, turned 26. If we can get him back fit, he's a massive addition. If I was sitting here saying I was signing him, then I would be delighted. So the fact that he's in the club and he's hopefully back to full fitness will be great.
What is the position with Daniel Harvey just now? You've obviously got a player in that can replace, so you're obviously thinking about what's happening. So what is the actual position? That's a question all the fans have been asking.
Danny will go. Danny will leave. The club will get some money in, and he will leave. But the club had agreed a deal with Danny to extend it, but there would have been clauses in there that he could leave if a bigger club came and certain amounts of money came in. Danny committed to that, and now that bids have come in, then the club have been, well, he's out of contract anyway, so but if he had signed, then it would have been, again, it was probably something that would have happened at some point during the season. COVID's made it really difficult that we didn't get Danny tied down in a longer contract, but at the end of the day, nothing's kind of changed for what the plan would have been at some point during the season. I think he's done brilliant here. The fans will certainly agree with that. So it's one of these things again. It's Danny's been developed and he's moved on. But the club did make a real bid to show that we're not just going to let boys go out the door anymore. And obviously, COVID kind of played a big part in not getting Danny signing, because he was ready to sign on the day that actually the Queen of South game was cancelled. But Danny's happy. The club are happy for Danny, and I'm delighted to be the board went about trying to get Danny under contract at the time.
Right. Going away from that just now, because I know this is an ongoing thing, we'll be talking time and time again about signings. You've said hopefully another 4 soon or whatever. So that's a great progress step, but there are slight tricky things that come with COVID in terms of how you're going to do your training. Now, please, I have no clue about this, but at the moment contact training will be allowed when you come back?
Yeah, we spoke about this. We've been having Zoom calls since we've been back off of furlough, so all I could do is try to plan ahead any restrictions that may come back in or are in place for professional sports going back. So basically, I was speaking to teams like Aberdeen, Motherwell about what they had to do to get back training. So they made a plan that was non-contact, small groups of 5, but 10 days later they were back to full contact and they were playing 11v11, so things changed pretty quickly. So unless, because we maybe not have as much testing in place, we still need to do restricted training, then there'll be a problem. But for me, looking forward, I'll be back in August, midway August to start of September. I'm pretty sure we'll be full contact from the start. So we've planned both ways, but we're optimistic that we'll be back into normal training.
There's another thing about the training. We've got fantastic facilities we've been using over the last couple of years, great training facilities, but they're away from Somerset Park. Are you going to be able to use them just now, or do you have to train at Somerset?
At the moment, I think the restrictions are you need to be the sole use of whatever facility it is. So the facilities we've used, I don't think that can be guaranteed now. So we're planning for coming back. It'll be at the stadium. We'll be based at the stadium. But the only thing we are doing in the background, we're trying to do some work and try and make progress on that. Well, that's with a private kind of facility about here that we can get, either hiring it or we'll do some sort of deal. I'm not sure the ins and outs of that, but we'll certainly have facilities in place, training equipment in place that we can use both ways, whether it's smaller numbers or we're back to full time and full amounts, like the full 15-20 players. It'll either be here, that's the immediate plan is to be here, and if we make progress on other areas then it'll be there, Cal. So there's been a bit of work going into that. It's all these things. We could secure a certain place and in a month's time we're allowed to train in our original kind of training facility. So there's all sorts of ins and outs, as I'm sure everybody's dealt with all the way through this period.
Now, I think we've all been watching football matches, the German League games, the Premier League down in England, and watching the empty stadiums. Somerset Park is famous. You ask fans from around the country for pulling Ayr United forward, keeping them going, the great atmosphere. You've talked about it yourself. What will it be like for players if they have to, because we've got quite a wee while to go, if Somerset Park is a closed door game for the league or cup?
Well, watching it is certainly different. I mean, some of the games have been top players and top kind of clashes that it's not really felt the same, but I think for boys here it is crucial to have fans in the door, and it's for the boys, it's for that atmosphere, it's for that drive. The only good thing is we've been away from football that long. I think boys will be really itching to get back, so they'll maybe just be desperate to go in that park, but it's a definite that they want to be playing in front of the fans out at Somerset. So you do pre-season and all you do is say, I can't wait till we get into the normal games, because you get the fans there and you get the buzz back. So that will probably be the feel will be, we're going to have to work really hard at creating our own atmosphere. It's like saying in football, when you play some Tuesday night games away or maybe not so big a stadium and not so many fans, you always say let's try and create some sort of atmosphere on the pitch, because you know it's going to be totally different from what you normally experience in a Saturday game. So you can talk about it all day long, but you're probably going to really struggle to get that same feeling.
Thanks so much, Mark, for speaking to us. I know we've tried to do it for the last wee while, but you're absolutely right. Great day to talk about football. So good to be coming back.
No, it's brilliant. I think it's good. We've got a few boys re-signed. There's obviously some negotiations still being done, and hopefully the fans get excited and they think we're going the right direction. And I'm sure that the support they've gave through this period will continue when we finally get back on the pitch.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Cal. Cheers.